No, you're not a bad person if you report smokers to your apartment dorm management. If you're having an issue with smokers in your apartment, report them. You're not a bad person if you do. Smoke from any form of smoking, from weed to tobacco, smell like shit. It can trigger respiratory issues and allergic reactions. Plus, most smoke, even marijuana smoke, is carcinogenic. If smoke that isn't yours is noticeable in your apartment, report it. If there is a real problem with smokers in your complex, you are not a bad person for reporting it. I've been reported for smoking cigs on my balcony. Meanwhile, multiple other people were smoking pot inside and seemed like nobody ever reported them. Or the landlords just didn't care. So, you're right. But don't be like my old neighbors and pick and choose what kind of smoke you want to report. We can tell who smokes and who doesn't just by reading these comments. I don't smoke. Never have nor will. I don't much like the smell, but I would talk to the neighbor if I knew a visitor who has issues with it was coming over. Depending on how that convo went depends on how much farther I was willing to take it. You can tell your neighbors before reporting. Sometimes, all you have to do is ask the person smoking. I've been in both shoes myself. Edit misread your post, you mentioned smoking outside. Not in. In that case, this isn't unpopular opinion at all. I ask then I report I had cancer a few years ago, so it makes me sick smelling smoke of any kind. Can't really relate as we don't have doormen or management in our apartments. But just talk to the people directly. Way more likely to change things. Report my weed all you want. I have a medical card, so nothing the apartment ladies can do face with hand over mouth. Is the building smoke free? This isn't unpopular, it's literally why the rules are in place. Don't complain when they start reporting you for everything you do which annoys them. Is that even a thing? Seems like all the rentals where I live allow smoking. And it doesn't seem like smoke ever really transferred between things like apartment units and hotels rooms. I am saying this as a non-smoker. Are you talking about reporting people smoking on their balconies? Can I ask how in the world other people's smoke is getting in your apartment? I've had like 15 apartments and this has never happened to me. Nor has anyone complained. The smell? Sure. But unless someone is smoking cigarettes in the halls of your apartment building, don't be a fucking narc. That's lame as fuck. You could jeopardize someone's place of living because you don't like the way the hall smells. I love it when posts sound like the OP is talking into a mirror, lol. Okay, I'm gonna report my neighbor when they burn dinner. Or wear excessive amounts of body spray in the hallways. Ooh, if I can smell their car exhaust, can I report that too? You kinda don't get to decide if you're a bad person or not. Nobody thinks they're a bad person, but getting someone fined or evicted because it smells bad is a pretty bad thing to do in my opinion. If it's constant, report it. If it isn't, relax. Living around other people is a life lesson. For cigarette smoke I could understand, but with weed the person will more than likely be considerate. Cigarette smokers are way more addicted and have a stronger opinion about their habit. I know I was one before, and so I could understand being a bit nervous approaching. But with weed smokers, it's not as addictive, and plus they have options. They can take edibles instead or go for a walk, which they may prefer anyways since it's usually therapeutic. Like I said, weed isn't as addictive as cigarettes, so I think you would be dealing with two different types of people. Nah, getting someone kicked out of their house makes you a bad person. Maybe not a bad person. A narc though. A person would have to be doing way worse for me to go out of my way to report them. Definitely doesn't make you a bad person. But the timeless advice everyone gets as a child is nobody likes a tattletale. This is true into adulthood. Not a bad person, but don't expect people to like you. It can trigger respiratory issues and allergic reactions. Did it trigger respiratory issues? Or is this just something that could possibly happen? The rule is you should talk to your neighbor before reporting them. You should be on your neighbor's side by default. You should not be narking or ratting out your neighbors to the management. But on the other hand, smoking can be a nuisance and you are allowed to complain about it or ask your neighbors to either stop or turn it down before you go report them and risk them getting kicked out on the street. No, you are for being a snitch to a fucking landlord. You're talking into a mirror, huh? Wrong, you're no fun. Narc. Speak for yourself about the smell of weed being shit. Pretty fucked to potentially get someone's home taken from them because they smoke. You could just go and ask politely? Know your auntie, Karen or Darren, and don't report them. Just be respectful and ask them if they can smoke outside because it's bother you. Wow. Far 155 upvotes. Does that mean 155 people dommed agree with opinion? Cigs yes. Weed no. Don't be a fucking narc. Fuck with how I spend my free time at home, and fucking with you will now be how I spend my free time at home. Unpopular, not detected, cringe activated. I get reporting people for smells. It's super disgusting to live in other people's secondhand smoke. I say more power to ya. Unless you have serious pre-existing health issues, their smoke will not do you any harm. Though, let's be real. You aren't getting cancer just because you smelled someone's smoke. People who smoke a pack a day for their entire adult lives only die from smoking-related illness. 10 of the time. Less than 1 actually develop lung cancer. It isn't a health issue in 99.999 of situations like this. All the smokers in the comments who enjoy killing their lungs and want everybody else to live with their addictions, take it outside or they have every reason to report it.